Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror Freaks, and welcome to night one of Slashtober Part 3, Halloween Night. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
Pugs Dread.
Namaste, trick or treat.
And Mike Kruger.
Welcome to prime time, bitch, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween indeed. It's October. I'm festive tonight.
Show your pumpkins. Oh, yeah, for real.
I already had some of that pumpkin spice cereal from Frosted Mini Wheats. They were delicious.
Those are good.
Getting the season started.
Look at all those bad thoughts in Dan's head. All lighting up.
All lighting up, yes. Pumpkin spice season, man. Can't beat it.
It's the best.
Everything. All our inner white girls are coming out.
That's right, Dan. My inner white girl can't even right now.
Dunkin' over Starbucks, I think.
Dunkin's got. Sir.
Look, I love Starbucks, but I think Dunkin' actually might.
Well, that's a whole different tournament, Dan.
We will. That's actually, yes, that would probably be.
I'm not a pumpkin spice in general, just very seldomly. Like, I don't go crazy for it. I say that every year, and more and more I keep buying it. So
even like I don't pumpkin pie blizzard or
well, I'll eat that anytime. But
okay. So you don't have an.
Well, yeah. See, I think I'm more pumpkin flavored than pumpkin spice. Like if I had an option, I'm always gonna go pumpkin flavor.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm more.
You can put pumpkin spice on the pumpkin pie, and it's just a fucking inception of Halloween.
Well, now I may need to try that.
All right.
Yeah, pumpkin everything. So Kruger, why don't you let the good people know how Slashtober works?
All right, so what we do for our Slashtober special is rate and review a Halloween-themed film, but since this is our first episode, we will be starting off our season with 4 different films tonight, and at the end of the episode, we will vote to decide which of the films we want to eliminate, leaving us with our top 3 Halloween horror films, aka our 3 final girls. And once we get to the final episode of this season's Slashtober, we will choose one of those final 3 as this season's winner. So, Todd, why don't you tell us what movies we have tonight?
Thanks, Kruger. And up for contention tonight, we have 4 films, and that is Halloween Night, The Clown Murders, The Guest, and Stan Helsing. So, Dan, why don't you start us off with Halloween Night?
Absolutely. So, Halloween Night is a 2006 horror film from our good friends at The Asylum and director Mark Atkins and Fangoria legend Michael Gingold, who co-wrote this with the other Asylum legend, David Michael Latt. And in this one, based on the actual events, 100% accurate that all of this happened. Halloween night 1982, an inmate of a maximum security medical facility escapes after brutally murdering 2 guards. Completely original. Upon returning to the house where he was born, he goes on a killing spree that will make him Southern California's greatest mass murderer. They haven't caught you yet.
I was going to say would like to disagree with that strongly, but
so, you still have the title. It's just you don't have the fame yet. Well, but we'll get there.
I will give this one props off the back. It does start with Todd enough to start, so. But.
I mean, that was a tease, but we'll get there.
So, all right. Halloween Night. Also, I should have pointed out Tom Devlin effects, and I don't know how many of you are out there, but Tom Devlin was actually a guest pre-Todd, even at this point, I believe. Like,
that was
during our
program, Dan.
Horror Theater Radio way back.
This is in his life.
I know.
Yeah, more me than Todd, but this was
this was not on our program. Yes,
but yeah, but Face Off, cool dude. Great effects, usually. All right, so I want to start off just by saying that this Halloween Night, I'm not ignorant to what this is. This is trash. This is pure 2000s direct-to-video garbage, and I fucking love it. This is just so much fun. For all the bad acting and you know, the fact that our killer who gets hit by this steam and it somehow turns him into a zombie from Lucio Fulci film. There's a lot of hilarious things that you can pick at, but man, is this fun. We just don't get movies like this anymore. Yeah, the characters are stupid. They do stupid things. A lot doesn't make sense. But this is so much more fun than these just product streaming crap fests that we get so often nowadays. It's just good, cheap, sleazy fun, and I can't believe how well it holds up. I think it's actually something that I enjoy a lot more now than I even did back in 06, because we just don't get it a lot. But before I go too deep into it, was this a first time watch for any of you? I know Todd wasn't, but okay, Kruger, first time watch. What did you think?
Well, I mean, it's a shameless, Halloween ripoff. But knowing that going in, the opening scene did impress me actually a lot. I was like, oh shit, like I guess we're ready to party. And one thing I'll say that's probably the best thing about this movie is all the gore and kills and stuff. None of that really disappoints at all. And I was surprised by a couple of them for sure. The killer,
practical, yeah.
The killer, I wasn't really like crazy on the way it looked, like when he didn't have the executioner outfit on, but when he put that on, that did look pretty cool. And the backstory was decent. Couple funny one-liners in here too, like once you get tired of tasting tuna, you call me, all right? Like just all of the dialogue reminded me of like movies from that time period, and it had some fun to it. But the way the story plays out, I mean, it isn't really anything special or anything that would keep me like coming back to this in future viewings. Like I'm a one and done on it, to be honest with you, just because like I was kind of bored in the last 40 minutes. I mean, yeah, there was cool kills and stuff, but everything else, it was hard not to be looking on my phone or doing something else, just because I wasn't a fan of any of the characters or really, what was going on. But I can see the appeal for it. It's just, like I said, one and done for me.
Right, man. For me, it started off really goddamn strong, and I was very shocked as where we were going, because it reminded me of Sons of Anarchy when Peggy Bundy gets gang raped by a bunch of Michael Myers, which if you haven't seen it, it's pretty awesome. So I really wish we would have spent more time in the with those guys, like as and the kid before he grew up into be fucking Michael Myers too. Those white masks were rad, and we all know how I feel about white masks here. They rule. But after that, it was just a steady decline in story value. However, I was entertained because we had stupid people getting chopped up and murdered and tits. Not bad. So yeah, I had fun with it.
Todd, how about you?
No surprise. I am a fan of this one. I haven't seen it in years. I remembered liking it then, but I kind of agree with Dan. It's something we don't get now, so it feels a little bit more special than it did in 06. Yeah, I can't argue with the negative things about it, but the entertainment
Jersey
value,
accent.
Yeah, the entertainment value beats it for me. But I mean, I wish we still got a silent product like this.
Yeah, it was a different.
It's been a steep decline since 2006. Because I remember like some of the direct to video stuff was actually like halfway decent in the beginning.
Yeah, it was a different era for sure. I mean, I still think Asylum makes fun, dumb movies, but yeah, I mean, it's weird probably for a lot of you that might check this out. Like, yeah, practical effects for the most part at this time. I mean, that was changing for certain things, but you
didn't really have CG blood splatter though as much in like 06. You didn't really start getting that until like I think like 08.
Yeah, it wasn't like, we weren't getting that terrible like squirting computer blood that we get so often now, which really kills the lower budget film.
It still bothers me in The Devil's Rejects. There's one shot.
I know what you're talking about.
Still bothers me to this day.
Yeah, it's not it wasn't as prevalent at this point. And again, just very sleazy, bunch of nudity in this. And, look, you can pick at the makeup. You can even pick at some of the kills. But just feels more authentic. This one actually does feel like Halloween to me. And I do like it a lot. And I find it very entertaining.
And it's under 90 minutes. So that's nice.
Yeah, quick watch. Doesn't overstay its welcome for sure. Yeah. We ready to rate this one?
Yeah.
Sure.
For me, I am a 3.5. I really like this. I'll watch it again.
Right on.
I am a 2 out of 5.
I am a 3 out of 5.
I'm also a 3.5 on this one. Yeah,
Nice.
I'd recommend it.
Awesome.
I'm still ready for the prequel. If you want to just elongate that a little bit,
It is a little bit weird that they didn't try and hammer out a sequel to this. A lot of their other stuff got it. Yeah. Their almond ripoff and
They're what? They ripped off some almonds?
They're almond ripoff.
almond, whatever. They had to.
So funny.
But yeah.
What's it called?
Although
Child 666, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They also, I don't know why they never did a sequel to Jolly Roger Massacre at Cutter's Cove. That's a fun one.
These all sound like candidates for a future slasher.
Yeah, you'll be seeing them on the show at some point. All right, moving on to our second film, which is one that, quite frankly, a lot of people forget even existed in the first place, and that is 1976's Clown Murders from writer-director Martin Burke. And this is a Canadian film which follows 4 men who kidnap an old girlfriend on Halloween night as a joke to ruin a real estate deal, only to have a very real clown mask killer stalk them seeking revenge. All right. So this one I would imagine might be a first-time watch for most of you guys.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
Whoever wants to tag in, go for it.
I'll go. So, first off the bat, Clown Murders, bullshit. Call it something else. A horror story, bullshit. Call it something else. The only thing that makes it semi-scary is John Candy's sex face. However, fuck yeah, John Candy. This movie's not like super terrible, but it's fucking long. It felt long. I think it's lost for a fucking reason or obscure for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not the gory slasher film you think it is, for sure.
It's like barely a crime thriller, dude. Like this could have been a SVU episode if we threw in Olivia. And I would much prefer it that way.
To be fair, we threw this one on the list because none of us had seen it, and it was set on Halloween.
No, that's why it's here, because it's on Halloween. This one's just weird. There's like a sex crazed dude. he was funny, but yeah, this is a miss for me. However, I am glad I saw it, and I love John Candy, so I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah, a lot of this stuff needs to change. The name is misleading. That cover, it's almost not as bad as Serial Insane Clown Killer. So it's
a lot better than that.
No. The name, I'm saying, like, this is miles better than that fucking movie, but it's as misleading as that.
Well, yeah, it's Image. They made this cover. The old VHS cover is just as misleading, if not more. But
did you dig the old school fat shaming, like John Candy's eating?
I mean,
like
just twice a day, Dan. Yes, I did.
I'm fat, and I wanted to like mock this guy. Like, goddamn. Like, dude, put down the fucking donut. God damn it.
Donut sounds good.
It does.
Yeah. Kruger, how about you? I know you loved it. I can sense it.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. Like, I like John Candy, and hearing like him being in like a horror movie was really appealing to me. But then like getting what we got with this was just a terrible disappointment. I'm a big fan of Killer Clowns, and it definitely didn't live up to that hype that I had for it. And the story just drags along like fucking watching Molasses. I mean, it was really, really, really hard to get through, especially that last 40 minutes. It does pick up at the end, but by then I was already checked out and I just wanted the thing to end. But I can see people wanting to just check it out for John Candy alone in it. And I think it like may have some sort of appeal out there to somebody, but not for me. It really isn't like a horror movie per se at all. It's, like Pug said, barely a crime thriller. and just a really weird story. It's not like the story is just not even well told at all. And we got like these bizarre flashback sequences, and then this guy yelling at John Candy to get out of this room for like fucking 45 minutes. Yeah, I say you can miss this one, but for John Candy fans, maybe there's something there for you.
And the nerve of that guy couldn't even show up to play.
Todd.
Everyone's already said it. It's 76. Watching it maybe on TV or whatever at the time, it might have been somewhat entertaining. There's been other ones that we discovered from this era that were actually decent. This one, like I meant TV movie wise, there was a lot of TV stuff at that time. This, on the other hand, it's a Canadian film from.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. It's a curiosity piece worth watching once. That's the most I can say.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's hard to know who to recommend it to. I don't think it's as bad as as you guys seem to think. I actually think, for the most part, it's an engaging enough one-time watch. Forget about it, going into it for a great slasher movie. I do think there's just enough to qualify it at the end. But nonetheless, as a slasher film, it's definitely not very good. I was still engaged enough. The acting's really good. I thought the characters were fine. John Candy, seeing him in a different light alone was probably worth a one-time watch for you guys. This is the DVD's hard to find, but this is out there. It's not a hard movie to watch.
I think it's on YouTube.
It is.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
There's an old YouTube link that's had it around. It's not going to look great. I don't think there's any version of this.
The DVD looks like garbage too.
Yeah, DVD looks like garbage. So
maybe Vinegar Syndrome will rescue it, and then we'll decide if we want it again.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Vinegar Syndrome puts it out, all of a sudden it's gonna have this mass following that it never had. So.
And at least it'll look good.
It will look good. Having said that, I still think it's a decent one-time watch, but go in thinking crime thriller over horror movie. Again, I do think it qualifies, but you'll probably have a better time if you go in thinking more crime thriller suspense rather than horror. So yeah, that's about all I got to say about it. But if you are a John Candy fan, I do think it's worth a watch.
All right.
Nice.
Shall we rate this then?
Yeah, let's rate it.
And before we do, I should clarify, Candy does have a prominent role. This isn't a Tom Hanks situation where he's in it for like 2 minutes.
This is before he's actually John Candy, to the mask. Yeah.
It was a Canadian production. It had other
Yeah.
He was still.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and rate it. What say you, Pugs?
I'm gonna go 1 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm a 1.5 out of 5.
I'm also 1.5 out of 5.
I'm a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too far off.
So far, though, 2 movies, pranks gone wrong.
All right, so our next film from 2014, and director Adam Wingard. Certainly, he's gone on to do quite well for himself since this movie. And in this, a soldier introduces himself to the Peterson family, claiming to be a friend of their son who died in action. After the young man is welcomed into their home, a series of accidental deaths seem to be connected to his presence. All right, The Guest. So, Kruger, what did you think about The Guest? I assume you saw this before. But
No,
maybe
this was the first time.
Really?
That's why this was on the list.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I've been putting it off, honestly, until Halloween because of it, taking place on Halloween. And first thing I'll say, this has one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a really, really long time. I mean, goddamn, just like I was just grooving the whole time, fucking listening to the music. It's so awesome. Great cast of familiar faces, like you've seen almost everybody in this movie and other horror films. Like I know the guy who plays the brother who's getting bullied. He was in Color Out of Space, and just good cast of familiar faces. And I love the characters in this. Like this grieving family, each character had like just a little bit of depth to them, but enough for me to really care about them and like not want to see anything bad happen to them because they're already going through so much. And David was like one of the best antagonists in a movie I've seen in a really long time. Like I liked how we knew right away something was off about him, but it didn't like take away from the mystery that what was really going on. Then when all of that is revealed, like holy fuck, that was just so badass. And the way that final act delivered, fucking absolutely awesome, man. You know, that the whole Halloween 3 iconic shot that we got
shit.
with Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was just awesome. And just the whole haunted house aspect to it too. This movie absolutely screams Halloween, and that's what I really loved about it. Among other things, as far as kills and stuff goes, could have used a little bit more gore, but we did get some bloody shootings and a hell of a high body count. So I was all about that. And yeah, I mean, this totally put me in the Halloween spirit, and I absolutely loved it. I think it's probably Wingard's best movie, to be honest with you.
I'm not going to argue. That just does include some Godzilla in there, so I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, but I see, like, I'm not as crazy about GVK as I am like some of the other MonsterVerse movies.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to see this at Beyond Fest.
Oh.
No trailers, just saw it blind. I was with my buddy Rex. We both lost our shit. I was like, is this really this good? Are
Right.
we tripping? And then the final act when they go to the dance, Halloween dance, both of us are elbowing each other like it's fucking Halloween 3. It's themed.
Right.
So that was fucking awesome. Dude, it combines an action movie mixed with a thriller and with some horror elements. This is one of my favorite movies I've seen, like Halloween action movies, I should say. Ever since I've seen it. Dan Stevens is he's a monster, and he should be bigger. Like he's big, but he's so good. He should be way bigger.
You know what I think? Because I'm watching this again. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that dude's a fucking movie star. And I know he was in that
Beauty
and the Beast thing.
He's in Legion.
But he hasn't exactly become a monster star, and I think it's because he's very similar to Ryan Gosling in terms of looks. Because that's the only thing I can come up with.
He is going to be in the new Godzilla versus Kong sequel.
Yeah,
either the sequel or the series. I'm not sure.
Well, either way, I'm here for it.
The series also is going to have Kurt Russell and his son in it.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god, Dave is going to team up with Jack Burton. That's awesome.
Well, he was also on that Downtown Abbey show too.
That's where he started, isn't it?
All right, yeah.
Well, that guy fucking rules. But yeah, this movie fucking oozes Halloween. From the subtlety in the beginning to this fucking splash in your face Halloween shit at the end. This is a blast. Highly recommend to everybody and everybody. Everyone brings their A game.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, I think it's a fantastic film. I loved it back then. I still love it now. It holds up. I'm kind of interested when we get to the end to see how it measures up in terms of what feels the most Halloween. I think they could have swapped the holiday certainly with this. You know, it's not like a major point, but man, from beginning to end, and not just Dan Stevens. I mean, we got Leyland Orser as the dad, who is always hitting a home run in everything he does.
You want a drink?
Ethan Embry, who's not in it very long. Joel David Moore, Lance Reddick. Just they stack this with awesome character actors. Micah Monroe, of course, who was recently in Watcher.
Which I had to look. I was like, I know her from something recent because I don't really her other work I don't really know. Was she in It Follows also?
Yeah, It Follows.
I've only seen it once. Wasn't a huge fan. I know.
Me either.
I'm a big fan of her, though. I think she's
no, I do too.
She's a good actress.
The Watcher sold me over.
Oh yeah, Watcher was really good. But yeah, no, and this is just old school action again. Even more starving for it now, but even in 2014. Let's be honest, the same thing. It was like, man, I just love this so much. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Dan Stevens is a beast in this, and I don't know. I'd like to see a follow up. I don't know how likely it is at this point. 8 years later, I think.
My friend told me that there is a follow up like soundtrack thing that they did, but not that's it. If they don't do a movie, I'd love to see like a graphic novel or something like that. That'd be really interesting.
I knew this one was. I mean, it was great from the beginning, but when he kicks the shit out of those kids in the bar, I was like, okay, this is a winner.
When he says awesome, I'm like, yeah, that's the correct fucking response.
So I just know next time Kruger sees Dan, he's ordering a fireball. Just know it's gonna happen.
Those things are brutal. I tried
the ruler.
Did you try it because of the movie, Dan?
No, this was like forever ago. But
all right, it made me curious.
It burned then. It probably would burn just as bad now. So yeah.
I mean, you can see the love of Carpenter throughout this thing. I mean, the score, the fucking font is the same. But yeah, there's a little bit of Assault on Precinct 13 feeling it at certain points.
With the gun violence for sure, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this movie. I forget how much I love it till I watch it. Then I'm like, why am I not watching this more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man. I've been sleeping on this way too long.
I'm glad you're here now, Kruger, because this movie's the shit.
Well, like the reason I wanted to see it was all because of the Halloween 3 thing. Like Bloody Disgusting posted that shot, and I was just like, oh fuck, now I really need to see this thing. But I disagree, Dan. Like the whole final act has like a whole Halloween feel to it. Like I think
that setting,
it wouldn't like that. The whole thing with the funhouse wouldn't have worked right if it was like a fucking December Christmas play or something.
Might have actually been funny, just blowing her away.
Santa's village or some shit.
I'm just gonna stop this right now. This is the argument Ozzy uses with Christmas movies, because there's the whole argument. If you can pull Christmas out of the movie, it's not a Christmas movie. If you can pull Halloween out of the movie, is it still a Halloween movie? I say yes. It matters when it's set, because you could pull fucking Halloween out of Halloween, and it would still it would still work the same.
Yeah, I still think though I would be just over the moon if he was like blowing people away in front of a manger setting.
Which that can hurt it later in the tournament if something feels more Halloween and there's a problem. So there's a couple tonight that
Die Hard Halloween.
Yes, that's always the issue. Because you could take Christmas out of the movie and it'd be the same.
So what do we rate this one?
Let's rate it.
I am a 5. Oh, sorry, Bugs.
No, it's cool.
Remember what order we went in there, but I'm a 5.
All right. I'm actually a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm a 4.5 too, with maybe some room to grow.
As much as it hurts me to match Dan again, I'm a 5 also.
Awesome. You don't get this as often as I'd like. Fuck the Fast and the Furious movies. I would.
Now I want him to show up in Fast and the Furious movie
and just beat the fucking murder.
Oh my god! Yes.
It's about family, man.
I just want him to kill them all in front of Vin Diesel for. Yeah.
I know The Rock would be happy. The Rock would be the new fucking franchise owner.
He can partner up with The Rock to take them all out.
Shabs, Ha, and David, right?
There you go.
All right. So our fourth and final film tonight, before we axe some of the competition, is Stan Helsing, which is from 2009. Sorry, writer-director Bo Zenga, and in this one, a spoof on many horror movies. Ending his shift at the video rental store, Stan's picked up by his BFF and 2 cute girls, all going to a Halloween party. Will they ever get to their final destination? All right, so Stan Helsing. This one, when you put it on the list, I've seen this, of course, before. I remember reviewing it way back when it came out and not loving it. There's certainly worse parody movies out there. There's some real fucking garbage that was put out. And this is also guilty of a lot of movies like this where it's just like the joke is just totally, oh, look, we're doing Pumpkinhead. Oh, look, we're doing Paranormal Activity. And it's the actual gag itself just isn't that funny. Like, okay, cool, I see what you're doing. I liked it a little bit better this time. There were some funny bits. I actually more so, I think, towards the beginning, the cockroach jizzing on the dude. I thought some of the early gags with like Chucky, like miming the blowjob and everything, made me laugh. It's all yeah, it's all very stupid humor. The ring, probably if it just stayed in the video store all night, I would have liked it even more. The ring gag where they're returning it and everybody's dropping dead. I did laugh more often than I remember laughing back then, and maybe I was just burnt out on the just huge wave of parody stuff we were getting at the time.
I was gonna say, I think that lack of these films might have helped it, that we haven't seen one in so long.
Yeah,
might have.
It's not great. It's really not great, but I thought the cast was good. Steve Howie is Stan, great comedic actor. Diora Baird, of course,
he's also a great serious actor too, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, she's great in pretty much everything that she does. Kenan Thompson, is Kenan Thompson. He can kind of sleepwalk through this now. I would have liked a little more Leslie Nielsen, or somehow, again, my memory was that we had more of him. And also, I thought it was hilarious that Ken Kersinger played Mason.
I was going to bring that up.
I would have totally done a gag with like a fake, like Kane Hodder just flipping out or something. Like I would have broken it. And yeah.
Sometimes they need to be a little meaner than they actually are.
Yeah, I agree. Some of this it's very, very like 12-year-old boy humor, which is usually a good thing for guys like well, most, I would say, us. I don't review a lot of comedies with you, Kruger, so I don't want to like throw you in there necessarily, but it has some funny gags. There's a lot that just miss, like, hey, look at the movie we're spoofing. But I did pop for "You're Like a Real Messed Up Paul Giamatti." I don't know. That one did make me laugh. And there's a little nudity. I thought the gay porn Frankenstein's monster thing that they wander on, that made me laugh too. It's better than I remember it. There's certainly, it's no Naked Gun, or Scary Movie 1. But Kruger, did it make you laugh?
Well, I remember watching this. I rented it on VOD like when it came out, and I remembered liking it. I don't like it as much as I remembered. But there is some pretty funny one-liners, like, so you're a fan of the Kobe Bryant position? I was like, oh, shit. I was like, that would not fucking fly today. So there's
Unless it was a helicopter, because it would crash and burn. But
there's some appeal to that. And, the Gang of Slasher icon ripoffs is, it's goofy and dumb as fuck, but also a little bit funny, like, Flavor Flav Freddy and shit. And Pinhead with like darts stuck in his head, like stupid shit like that was fun. We even got fucking Ice Cream Man Michael Jackson coming in, fucking hanging out with a bunch of children doing
it, like Suck Pops, or I can't remember what was on there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the appeal to this movie is just how offensive it is compared to like what the standards are nowadays. But outside of that, like, about half of the jokes are funny and half of them you're going to be sitting there like, okay, that is dumb as fuck. But like the whole karaoke thing at the end, that I could completely do without.
Went on a little long.
But we also get this nice POV shot that I remember when I first saw this, I paused that on that fucking POV shot for about 2 days with some tissue and lotion. So, some nostalgia there for me too. But overall, like, I can't see a lot of people like absolutely loving this. But if you've never seen the Scary Movie horror movie, or the horror ripoff, then go check that out.
Yeah, if you like the Scary Movie movies too, it's for you.
I would say watch it with friends too. I think you probably all agree with that. I think it's an even better time if you got a bunch of buddies.
Or with some extra substances might help too.
Yeah.
That would help immensely.
The first time I watched it, I did see it before, but it was a night we were drinking, so I don't really remember it. I remember thinking it was all right, so I was looking forward to revisiting it. I'm glad I did, and I do think that we've had so few of these in so long. I think it was, fun to watch for me. I mean, it's 13 years old at this point, so
Nuts.
yeah, right. It's something we don't really see anymore. So I had a good time with it. Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, there's some laughs. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good time. You could go wrong. There's worse scary movie sequels. I'll go with that.
Oh, yeah,
Way
definitely.
worse.
And I might not have said that when I first covered this one, because I remember really not liking it at all. And it did at least make me smile. It's a good watch for this season.
I think the cast it does help it.
The cast does help it. There's a lot of stuff now that I don't think even just some of the bimbo humor that would just go over really poorly now. It is another one again. You just I think it's elevated by the lack of actually funny comedies now that we just rarely get that. So yeah, it's aged well, I suppose. So
This was my first time watching it.
Oh,
I never saw. I guess I dodged the bullet this whole time, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't critical. I like.
It didn't get it theatrical, so you must not have just rented it.
I remember seeing it on the shelf, and I just never pulled the trigger. I'm like, I got Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. I'm cool.
And 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 at that point.
Never seen past. I've seen 3. I haven't seen past that.
You don't need to see past 2.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm sure. But I love the cast. I love them from all the other things that I know them from. So it was cool to see their younger versions. But yeah, this movie starts off kind of strong. I do love the Schlockbuster video, but I'm with Kruger where it just takes a dip, and at the end it just overstays its welcome. And the jokes don't hit as hard as I think they could, but I think it's a decent time. I don't hate it.
Do you guys have a favorite from that wave? Like Meet the Spartans one, whatever it was.
Meet the Spartans, I thought was fucking hilarious.
I can't
Are we
remember.
not counting Scary Movie 2 and Scary Movie?
Oh, yeah, and anything from that wave.
No,
I mean,
then
Scary
Scary
Movie
Movie
1.
I mean,
I like 3. I like 3 a lot.
The 3
that's because you're a
still
science
has-
guy, though.
Yeah, well,
So-
I love
dude, when they're
science.
sticking their dick mouths in that dude's face, or the dick fingers in a dude's mouth, like that shit's
That
hilarious.
is funny.
Which is the one that had Stephen Hawking? Like, it wasn't a particularly
couldn't
great
tell
movie,
that.
but where
Really?
Stephen Hawking ends up in the beehive and he's just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like, it wasn't a great movie, but the Hawking stuff was just hilarious. And
I don't know,
maybe it
maybe-
was a disaster movie. I don't know.
Maybe I'll. Yeah, I don't know.
I
if
didn't
I'm
watch
ready
any
for
of
that.
those.
I want to say
superhero
it's
movies.
whatever one parodied The Village.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, I think I remember that. There was a lot. There was like
That could be
Dan
4.
Flick. There was superhero movie. Leslie Nielsen managed to find his way into a lot of them.
Every single one
Yeah.
almost.
Pugs.
Yes, sir.
Can you guess what line won me over when they're in the liquor store?
Oh man.
No.
Girl, I didn't know you liked Old Spanglish.
Oh.
This
Now you say it,
Spanglish
yes, makes sense.
got me fucking. I was like Spang because English. I was fucking dying. That's an alcoholic thing, sorry. And a lover of Old English 800
I was gonna say, look up to your ceiling. Oh,
because that's my brand. All right, Pugs. What about you? Where are you at? Did you say all your thoughts?
I did.
Okay, I felt like we kind of brushed by. I just wanted to confirm. Anyone else have anything on this one before we go ahead and rate it?
No, better than I remembered it.
Okay, what's your number, Dan?
A half of I'm going to be generous and round it up to a 3. It's kind of like 50% land, but there's nothing that really. I had fun watching it. Overstays its welcome a little, but I still had fun.
See, I don't think it overstayed. I had fun with it. I'm a little higher. No, I'm not. I'm still a 3, but I think I'd be a higher 3 than you.
Yeah, I'm barely like a 3.
I'm like,
I'm in the spirit,
but
I'm festive.
I'm not quite 3.5.
3 1/4.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So,
I'm a 2 out of 5.
I am a 2.5 out of 5.
okay.
Cool.
So this is so far. No, it's not our lowest rated. So, all right. So that's all 4 of them. So now comes the hard part. All right. So we have up for elimination tonight. We have. So we're gonna. Oh, I should say this. If we didn't say it earlier, we're rating out of 5. I don't remember if we did, so we'll just put that out there. Ours are on a scale of 5. So we're gonna have our 4 titles. We're gonna narrow it down to 3 till our next episode. So tonight we watched Halloween Night, The Clown Murders, The Guest, and Stan Helsing. All right, there's 2 I'm sure are on the chopping block. So Kruger, what are you voting to get rid of?
I'm gonna vote probably the Clown Murders.
Okay. Pugs?
I am going to axe the Clown Murders.
Dan?
Yeah, out of these, I don't think Clown Murders is going to certainly not be in anybody's yearly rotation, so I will axe that one. But, hey, if you haven't seen it, it still has the Halloween feel there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. On this one, we'll make it a clean sweep. Unfortunately, I
One
was
big
hoping this.
hole.
I was hoping this would be our surprise of the tournament. So, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it was
Squashed.
not.
And we did put this over before, but just because a movie gets a higher rating doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stand up against something much lower rated. It just, again, it's that the feel of Halloween, what works best for us.
And this is a case where, even with that into play, I think that one. The weird thing about that, I didn't bring this up earlier, is the Halloween party. They're all wearing the same thing.
Yeah,
It's a clown party.
I know, that's just weird.
It's a clown
With-
party, yeah.
no.
All right. So, on
I
that
actually know of a few people that have done like
You know a
scary
few?
clown themed usually at a
Orgies?
bar though, in fairness.
Okay.
But I have seen Halloween like killer clown
Yeah, but
parties.
they literally just went to like the fucking dollar store and bought it like
Yeah,
shitty masks.
that's true. I figured this was probably going tonight, so
Yeah, I did too, unfortunately. Well,
It was the last one I saw. I was like, how are we going to do this? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this is not going to be a hard decision for me.
but this is our
Moving
this is
forward, though, I think is going to be tough.
This is like our first. This is probably our easiest one, like out of all the tournaments we've done
For sure.
for the first round. Especially.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be some fighting.
We didn't- Usually we go in pretty heavy with some heavy hitters at first, and we kind of kept it tame this time. So
Yeah, I pulled all the heavy hitters. There's one that's borderline, but I'm allowing it.
Yeah.
So other than that, we might have some other stuff.
other
But-
surprises. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is our kickoff of the Halloween season. It's gonna be fun. Well, technically, our season is 24 365.
25-8.
Yeah, there you
I was
go.
going to drop an N word.
It's the kickoff of our October
There you go.
shows.
So everyone can join us. All you randos that are in the Halloween spirit, come with us.
And now-
Hang out with us for 31 days.
And now Dan has to wear these lights on his head the whole time. He's not allowed to take them off. He
Make
has to
them
go
up with
shopping
different gimmicks. You never know.
No, it has to wear the same ones. You cannot take them off, even in your daily life, until October
battery pack.
31st. Or if
Wait
you catch
and
on
see.
fire first.
Make sure you shower with them on.
Yes.
There we go. Some
good
people
for
are
the
into
muscles.
that, so that's true. All right, guys. So stay tuned for our next tournament entry, and hope you keep having an awesome Halloween season.
Absolutely.
Good evening.
So
Yeah. Stay sick, motherfuckers.
I'll see you in Disneyland.